Welcome back, all you beautiful and amazing human beings. How you doing? It's your girl, Olga, and you are watching the Olga S. Pérez Show live. Welcome, welcome. Welcome back, my love. Make sure to leave a comment if you're here in the live. Even if it's an emoji. I love the emojis. If you know me, you know I love my emojis. Anything. I mean, where are you in the world? What part of the world are you at right now? What are you doing? How you feeling? You know this podcast is just my side, the way I show it to my friends when they come over and we hang out. And I'm like, hey, did you hear about this? Did you hear about that? What do you think about this? What do you think about that? You know what I mean? But we're doing it live together here. So everywhere, all over the world, people can be joining me. Because, I already went through this before, like in person. And, you just run out of room. Like, there's just not enough room. So this way, I can see everybody. Everybody can see me. And we can shoot the shit. Right? Okay. So I got a few things I got prepared today. Of course, I got to talk about, trending topics, current news, if you want to call it that. Because I believe that a lot of news is fake. And I'm not doing the Trump thing. It's so funny. I still get so many people that are like, oh, you're a Trumpster. It's like, stop with that shit, man. I mean, and see, I'm already going all over the place. They've taken down a couple of videos. Did you guys see and I don't even want to say this guy's name because I'm thinking if I say his name, then again, this might get taken down. It was my last live. I don't know if you guys saw it. Look it up. If you didn't, it's on Rumble and on BitChute. Okay? Let me know. Let me know that you guys went over there. Same thing, the Olga S. Pérez Show, but it's on Rumble and BitChute because it's still there. How about that? And, I'm like, what did I say? That was wrong. I mean, there was one about, and by the way, I can't even say the V word or the jab word because another video that I posted from an ex-FBI, which is also over in Rumble, they were all on YouTube. And those two were taken off. Oh, strike this, strike that. I'm like, what are you talking about? Well, anyway, the CDC changed things. And so YouTube also changed their community guidelines. So I'm like, give it back. Put it back, and it's not like if anybody even cares to watch it or not. It's just like, hey, but now I'm wondering, does it change anything now that the guidelines have changed since they decided to do that move on me? I'm just like, this is such a witch hunt. Talk about, for years, people always said, I'm in a free country. I can do what I want. I'm in a free country. Clearly. And even before I thought, we're not as free as we think we are. Yeah, maybe compared to other people, other countries, other situations. But I could see in all this censorship years ago, even before the internet. It's like, it's not a real thing. They're not really consistent here. And it should be. Right? It should be consistent, period, end of story. If you're going to censor one, you censor all. All for one, one for all. That's my attitude. Not just my attitude, my belief, my credo, my mantra. So I'm like, and again, I didn't agree with this guy. His name starts with an A, and his last name starts with a T. Again, I don't want to say anything. Like I said, I didn't even know anything about this guy. But I saw him mentioned from other YouTubers that I watch. And so I was like, let me check this guy out. And I'm like, me personally, and hey, thanks to you. If you're one of those people that made a comment on that video, because now the video's taken down, your comments are obviously gone as well. But I love the fact that people were defending this individual. And I'm like, hey, don't they, when I say this guy is full of shit, what I mean is that I believe that he's got issues because he's got some anger. And I know that it's mostly in my insightful, intuitive perspective is that he, is just doing whatever to get attention. You know what I mean? to get famous or to be popular or whatever. And there's always an audience for that, right? There's always an audience for entertainment. Let me step back because I don't want you to hear that. Because I've noticed from editing, I'm like, oh, God. I'm not trying to be annoying. I'm already annoying, right? But my heart is good. That's the whole point here. That everyone else is assuming I am this way, I am that, I believe in this. If you know me, you know I believe in, first and foremost, in love. Second, and almost right next to love, is freedom. And it's not about the American way. It's not about a political stance. It's who doesn't like to be free? Who doesn't want to do what they want to do when they want to do it? Who doesn't want to, in bed, making love? Like, do you really want somebody in the bedroom telling you how to do it, how not to do it? I mean, like, don't tell me what to do. That's my thing. That's like my biggest pet peeve in the whole world. I can love you to death. I'll do anything for you, but don't tell me what to do. And if you want me to give you something or do something, the best way to get it is by being sweet and nice and kind. And you're going to get my attention. You're going to get my response. You're going to get my loyalty. I don't tell you what to do. I can tell you what I don't like about you. I can tell you what I don't appreciate. But do you? Again, they always say be yourself. Be yourself while YouTube is censoring over everything and anything. In fact, I was just listening to a Steven Crowder podcast live this morning on YouTube, and all of a sudden I'm like, what happened? What happened? I'm like, are you kidding me? And of course, because they were talking about the V, and then boom, gone. Like, you can't just, this isn't bots. This is somebody that literally probably gets paid to watch Steven Crowder to have a problem and take him down or whatever. And he was with the comedian Jim Brewer. Oh, guys, English is my third language. Or that I learned it third in order. It was English, Spanish, Italian, Spanish, English. Then I got better in English and Spanish. Then Spanish overtook because I grew up there. And then I got better with English once I moved here. You know what I mean? I mean, this is just nuts. And everyone's got an opinion. And here's my whole thing. Here is what I'm going to tell the internet right now. And it's not about censorship. It's not about just I don't want to say the V word or the A word, right? Or the AT guy, right? Let's call him AT. The jabs, the orange man bad. Thanks to someone that mentioned that in one of the live chats. It was like, orange man, good. I'm like, I just like to make anything positive. But the ugly truth is the ugly truth. Sometimes it's a beautiful truth. Sometimes it's an ugly truth. And when it's an ugly truth, and it's like, wait a minute. Like, did you hear that comedian Schultz where he did he had a deal with Netflix? And then they're like, okay, yeah, but we want to cut this, that. All specifically Biden. And then, so we're going to take it off. And he's like, no. I forget now, if he got his money back or part of it or whatever. But he was like, no, I'm not doing it. Good for him. Since when in history, especially in American history, especially since, the revolution, even the Civil War, but again, our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, we the people. I understand that those that are born today or have been born in the last 100 years, right? We weren't there. We didn't write that. But for the most part, we were doing really good on it. They left us some really good, a nice list to follow, a little memo to follow. And of course, I'm simplifying it for the sake of edutainment. I like that term, edutainment. So education, entertainment, right? Edutainment. So for the purpose of edutainment, wasn't too bad. And then the next thing you know, here's the Steven Crowder show getting taken down. Thank God. Or thank the universe. Or thank all those other platforms and the CEOs and the founders of all these other platforms that don't do that. And I'm going, why am I still coming to YouTube? Now, you guys know this is my new channel. I'm building the subscription, right? So make sure if you're here, make sure to hit the like if you like the content. Subscribe if you haven't already. And if you have, and either way, make sure to hit the notification bell. Because even when you do all those things, you're probably going to miss me because YouTube has control. Which, that's a perfect segue to talk about there's all these current topic and news happening, what's trending. Obviously, these two were a big one for me. Mark Zuckerberg. I'm going to start with that guy. I'm going to screen share. And I know you probably already saw this, but I want to give you my little tidbit. So before I go there, I know I'm jumping around. Before I go there, I had a Tom MacDonald song request. I've had many, and I'm like, I don't know which one to do. And it's like, do I flip a coin? If I feel it, if it's the right time and the feeling's right at that time, boom, that's what I'm doing. So I'm going to do one after I talk about the topic. So first, I'm going to talk about Zuckerberg, and then I'm going to talk about Aaron Rodgers. And I didn't even, when I started the intro of this live today, and I go all this old rant about censorship and YouTube and the politics and the BS, I'm like, it's funny. I just wanted to talk about these two things for two different reasons. Well, a lot of reasons. But anyway, I'm like, I have so much to say about these that I'm not going to pick more topics. I'm not going to pick more of trending topics or issues, current news. I'm going to pick these two, the Aaron Rodgers and Zuckerberg. And here I am, live, non-scripted, and I'm like, I just figured out, like, an hour or so before this show that the Steven Crowder show got taken down because of their conversation. I mean, the guy just got back. They took him down for like 2 weeks or something like that. If you know what I'm talking about, let me know in the chats. You know your comments are my fuel. Keep them coming. I do read them, and I will respond live and afterwards if you're watching the replay. So, I'm going to screen share. You see that? There we go. Here's Spotify and Zuckerberg on the Joe Rogan podcast. And as you can see, I had already been planning because I was looking for specifics. I'm going to rewind for a second.
A little bit less. The distribution on Facebook was decreased, but people were still allowed to share it. So you could still share it. You could still consume it.
So when you say the distribution is decreased,
it got shared.
How does that work?
It basically, the ranking in newsfeed was a little bit less. So
here's the cute part. I basically, just a little less. Like, totally harmless. We did nothing really wrong. You know what I mean? No big deal. I love the words that he chooses. You guys know how I'm all about the words. And the devil's in the details. It's like you manipulated people's content and viewership, which manipulates their minds and their behavior and their reaction. Hold on. But just notice. This guy's supposed to be this amazing guy, right? He's so powerful. So powerful. He's weak, guys. He's weak. He can be smart and talented, but weak. And I'm not even calling him out on his use of words. It's the soul or the energy, the person's psyche, or psychology, if you're with me.
Fewer people saw it than would have otherwise. So it definitely...
By what percentage?
I don't know off the top of my head, but it's meaningful. But basically, a lot of people were still able to share it.
But he said, it's meaningful.
we got a lot of complaints that was the case. Obviously this is a hyper-political issue, so depending on what side of the political spectrum, you either think we didn't censor it enough or censored it way too much, but we weren't sort of as black and white about it as Twitter. We just kind of thought, hey, look, if the FBI, which I still view as a legitimate institution in this country, it's like very professional law enforcement, if they come to us and tell us that we need to be on guard about something, then I want to take that seriously.
Did they specifically say you need to be?
I want to take that seriously. That's it. Because the FBI is God. Okay? Are you hearing me? Okay.
On guard about that story?
No, I don't remember if it was that specifically, but it basically fit the pattern.
When something like that turns out to be real, is there regret for not having it evenly distributed and for throttling the distribution of that story?
What do you mean evenly distributed?
I mean...
Okay, you're not seeing this whole entire clip. I'm not going to go through the whole entire clip. I can dissect it. We'd be here for hours. But look at him. What do you mean? So he hasn't said the word shadow ban, right? I don't know who came up with that word, but that's what we call it when they suppress your content. Which, by the way, guys, it's happening to me, and I'm a new channel. And I'm just a commentator, right? Just shooting the shit with you guys. Now, what do you mean how much? These people are not on planet Earth. I mean, they're definitely not on our reality plane. They're in their own dimension.
Only in that it's not suppressed. It's not.
Yeah. I mean, it sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because it turned out after the fact. The fact checkers looked into it. No one was able to say it was false, right? So basically, it had this period where it was getting less distribution. So yeah. I mean, but I think I think it sucks though. I think in the same way that probably having to go through a criminal trial but being proven innocent in the end sucks. It still sucks to have that you had to go through a criminal trial, but at the end you're free. So I don't know if the answer would have been don't do anything or don't have any process. I think the process was pretty reasonable.
Reasonable how? Did you do your research? Did you I'm rewinding, guys, because there was a part here that my whole thing is that these people are not honest. I do think Joe Rogan did a great job setting the stage and getting that out. But of course, if he would have tried to do this a year ago, obviously even 2 years ago, this would have not happened. So see, now things are a little different. People are a little more relaxed. They're more confident in their thing. And this is me not taking sides. This is not about politics. Let me make it very clear. This is about honesty and looking through the bullshit. That's it. Critical thinking, you might call it that. Hold on. Because there was a part here about how when he was asked, what was the, or something about the origins of Facebook. What was the purpose of Facebook? And guys, I'll show you another article, but you might remember how it all started. Whether you saw the movie, and movies are movies, right? So they're exaggerated for the purpose of entertainment, whatnot. Who knows? But I remember going down that rabbit hole of this guy. Who is he? Where did he come from? What does he do exactly? Especially when they were having that lawsuit. Remember with those twins that they claimed they created Facebook all together. So, we're talking years ago. And it's just funny how, again, if you say a lie enough times, it becomes real, right? No. I never forget.
We know who the admin of that page is. We don't necessarily, you should be able to run an anonymous page. You don't necessarily need to out yourself and say who you are running it, but we want to make sure that we sort of have an identity for that person on file, so that way we know, at least behind the scenes, that person is real. For certain political things.
If you have an identity, that doesn't make you real. You guys with me here? You just make up any name, Okay, you exist, right? Because you're pushing the buttons because you're not an AI. Technology is that advanced. Then I just read something the other day about, I'll talk about it in another live, about these robots that actually killed a bunch of people in a lab. And then they self-assembled and downloaded from a satellite to become even better and stronger. Like the stuff that we see in movies, I know. Because it sounds so sci-fi, it's almost like we're conditioned to believe, oh, that's just in the movies.
Things. I think having a sense of what country they're originating from. I mean, some of that you can do just by looking at where their server traffic comes from.
Okay, right.
You know, especially in countries that have laws around or that you're ever going to have
I want to hear this part because
some number of good guys, or you could be a little more, you value more. And those are those. Like, I mean,
I'm sorry, guys. I had this ready, and then there was like, oh my God, there's like 2 marks. Should have wrote the time down, but I thought, you know what? I'm going to waste too much time doing that.
Probably telling we spent the first hour talking about the metaverse and the future of basically building this whole technology roadmap to basically give people this realistic sense of presence. It's like,
I love that. To give people this realistic sense of presence. The realistic sense of presence is to be present. Did you guys get that?
I'm here to do, right? So this whole thing that's like arbitrating what is okay.
He sounds like he thinks he's God.
Obviously have to be involved in that because this is at some level, you know, I run the company and I can't just abdicate that. But I also don't think that as a matter of governance, you want all of that decision making.
Oh, guys, you don't see that?
One individual. So I think one of the things that, you know, our country and our
That's so weird.
separation of power.
I just realized you guys don't see the screen.
One of the things that I tried to create is we created this oversight board. It's an independent board that
Guys,
basically appointed people whose kind of paramount value is free expression.
give me a second. I had no idea that you are not able to see what you're hearing. Oh no. Because I'm screenshotting Spotify. And I have no clue why you can't see the video. Huh. Yeah, see? If I make the window larger, the video window, then you don't see anything at all. Oh, this sucks. I got to figure out why this is happening. Oh. Okay. Boom. Because obviously I could have taken other clips from the internet, which obviously I'm going to go to, but didn't want to waste your guys' time. But I'll tell you what. In the meantime, here is a screen share of this article. Well, in the Joe Rogan podcast, he says, the reason I started Facebook was to connect people. That's not true. That's not true. And that's where I'm tying in that if you say a lie enough times, it becomes truth, right? And it's like, so you know how Facebook, all the big tech people, they've had some hearings in the last couple of years. But I don't care. I don't care what you say. We know. Why did the twins even sue you? Okay, so he's saying here, Mark Zuckerberg tells Congress, no, Facebook wasn't invented to rank hot girls. That was my other website. Okay, that's true. I mean, in the sense, right, that, yeah, he could have created a couple different websites. But here, right, again, in the second day of his testimony before Congress, Mark Zuckerberg had to address a seedy bit of Facebook history. Was the site originally invented to rank girls by hotness? Now, we could even say he was young, dumb, you know the rest. But this guy doesn't strike me, and I'm just instinctually speaking, as someone who is got game or real confidence. Is he smart? Yeah. Is he socially savvy? Absolutely not. I stand my ground on this one. So isn't it ironic? Not ironic. Actually, let me take that back. It's more like, of course he created a social platform when he is socially awkward, to say the least. And I'm not insulting here. This is not about putting him down, trashing him. I'm going, I just want the truth and just be honest. And why do people just listen to this guy and anything he says, like Bill Gates? It's like, oh, whatever they say. Nobody can test them. They're all over the networks and everything. They're like, God, no. So was Face Mash, and is it still up and running? Was one of the questions. Zuckerberg described it as a prank website that I launched in college in my dorm room before I started Facebook. Okay, again, he was younger, right? But see, to me, he's still acting the same way he did when he launched. He hasn't grown. And, he's married. He has kids now, right? He's a businessman, supposedly. I'm just saying. His core, his essence is still the same. Now, he's not 40 yet, right? So he's got room. He's got time to grow. But for now, no, I don't take you serious. I don't buy it. I don't trust you. There's a movie about this. Yeah, we know that, right? Like I mentioned, The Social Network. What kind of prank was the website trying to pull? If you've seen The Social Network, you probably already know Face Smash was a, in quote, hot or not website Zuckerberg invented for Harvard students. What a great guy. Are they hot or not? And don't get me wrong, I think that's something we do. We have joked around with our friends, on a private area or even in a public party, but not on the internet, right? So here's this guy, shamelessly, with all this confidence behind the keyboard. Who's hot, who's not? Because he's the hottest guy ever. And he's the arbitrator of hotness. According to a Harvard Crimson article written at the time, Zuckerberg built it by hacking into school Facebooks. Here's where it gets good. When that still meant a student directory. Are you with me, guys? Because, technology has changed so much, but still there's like the tenant portal, right? There's like the student portal. There's all these portals, right? So, the student directory. And he takes these people's ID photos from the site. The site allowed students to rank their classmates based on their appearances. The one that he created from the directory of the school. I don't even know if there's anything illegal about that, right? Because it should be freedom of speech, right? Freedom of expression. In a journal he kept on the site, Zuckerberg mocked some of the students' photos as pretty, in quote, horrendous. Okay. Again, he's young. This is years ago. But to say that he started to connect with people, I almost want to put some of these faces next to pictures at farm animals and have people vote on which is more attractive, he wrote, end quote. Face Smash was met with outrage and was quickly shut down. You think? Don't get me wrong. We have so much worse stuff than that out there now, whether on the regular web or the dark web. But here's my thing. Whether you look it up, whether you find 50 articles or not, here's a person who, just like he's talking on the Joe Rogan podcast, was a couple days ago. The FBI told me I had to do this. No questions asked. He's not telling the whole story, you know that. And then it's like, well, we just did a little bit of that. Just a little bit. But why didn't you just say, hey, the FBI, why didn't you just do it all outright? Why didn't you just, okay, the FBI says do this and you just do it. You don't minimize it. You don't manipulate it in any way. You just cut them all out. Just like you did with the V and all these other topics. Right? Mandates, all that stuff. What's funny is that I didn't look it up this morning, but I do remember Intuit. Do you guys know who owns Intuit? Look it up. Like, they're all intertwined. And as I was saying at the beginning of this podcast, right before I was sharing that, let's talk about this Mark Zuckerberg, Joe Rogan. And you know what? Even if I look at, on YouTube for other clips of that video where you guys can actually see it, you know where I'm getting at because it's been all around, right? You've heard it. That he admitted to curtailing, and I'm saying it nicely because the real word is shadow banning. And that's because the FBI, who are not corrupt, and I'm not saying that the FBI doesn't do some good. Absolutely. Every organization has some good people and bad people. Because in the world that we live in, there's both. And I will kudos to Joe Rogan on how he set the stage, got those answers, did those questions. I am a fan of him. I don't watch every episode. I really don't have time. But yeah, I love that when other people watch and grab these snippets and share them. Like, oh, great. It's like reminds me of college, Cliff Notes. Yeah. So, all right. So, we already knew, right? But now he's actually saying it. So more proof. But everyone's just, even if everyone's sharing it on the internet, but it's just, that's it. Like, that's it. I barely use Facebook, and I've been using it less and less for the last few years. The only thing I will use it for is to share with you, hey, I have an event. I'm doing this. Do you want to participate? Do you want to join me? Here you go. Other than that, I got nothing to do there. And I'm not going to read, people arguing or, I remember when Facebook first launched, my brother, who's IT engineer in the whole computer world, and he had texted me because I think at the time there was like Snapfish or something? Do you guys remember that? Where it was like an album, you uploaded photos and then you shared it with your friends and family. And so when Facebook came out, my brother was like, he's always like knowing like what's going to come out before it even comes out or like before anybody even hears about it. Like Skype, like nobody knew about Skype. And yet we were Skyping for years before people started using it and sharing it and whatnot. And here we go where I'm like, okay. And then I thought, oh, wow, what a great way to find people that I've lost touch with. So it's like a modern version of, the white pages, yellow pages, or all these different ways to find people you wanted to reconnect with or that you lost touch with. And then it became what it became, which I was just like, I have no need to post where I'm at, what I'm eating, where I'm going, unless it's something for us. Like I said, like I have an event or I'm doing something or a live and, hey, let's talk, let's hang out. If you feel like it, if you miss me or you got some questions or whatever it is that I'm doing, what can I offer you? How can I, make your day, improve your mood even? Something as simple as that. Hey, just want to say hi. A simple hi can make somebody's day, right? A smile can change somebody's day. Not just their day, their week. It happens to me all the time. When people say something to me, could be at a supermarket, and, they make me laugh, whatever it is. And I'm like, you know what? I love that. Like the way you think, or, hey, I appreciate that. You made my week. Now, you know what? You made even if it's Uber driver, I'm like, you know what? You just made my year. You get me. You know where I'm going at. And we have that choice. We can be nasty. We have that choice. And we can be nice. And we have that choice. And you know it. Like, if being nice wasn't effective, then why is it that we do anything, really, at the end of the day? You want that connection, not in the negative sense, all right? If somebody's insulting you all day long, and even if you are addicted to toxicity, eventually you're going to be like, you're going to think about, like, do I have the right friends? Am I hanging out with like the right people? Or is my family members, are they bad for me or good for me? Even if they are my loved ones, right? We know that. Every single one of us has had the experience where somebody says something nice and it makes a difference. And a smile makes a huge difference. We know that. Makes all the difference. We are here to connect. So Zuckerberg, I just feel like, almost like cliche, like he's just saying this shit. I don't feel like it. I know it. I stand my ground. Don't like the guy. Never did. I love that he just, although he was being careful, he just felt more comfortable now. So the timing means everything. It's not just Joe Rogan. It's the timing. Hands down. Meanwhile, how about Aaron Rodgers, which again, I was going to show you a clip from the Joe Rogan clips on Spotify about the Aaron Rodgers. You guys heard about him, right? So, let me see. I'm going to pull up, for those of you that did not see it, let me see if this is the one. Or there's one. There's several. Obviously, a lot of people commented about it. Let me see.
And I'm hoping that now that this is over, people are going to recognize that some serious errors were made.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's that clip where Joe Rogan's telling people to vote Republican. That's huge, right? But again, everything's about politics. And that was my biggest thing today. I'm like, when I go to this live today, my biggest thing is if everyone stopped saying left or right, Republicans and Democrats, just don't even say the word. Just say, hey, the FBI did something that wasn't right or corrupt or unethical or there's something stinky over there. Period. Let's just call these people Biden this. It's not about the left, the Democrats. Stop saying because the Democrats, because the Republicans, because the right, because left. Stop saying that. Stop it. If we want anything to change, this all has to end. Us using those words is the first step on making real, good, useful change. And it's funny because I just saw also a clip earlier today. Schultz, the comedian, he has this. It just popped up in my feed. Another channel called, I think, the Schultz Zone, and here he was there with Russell Brand, and I'm like, oh, and I click on it. Really good. I laughed. It was great. Love the energy. Love how they were interacting. Love the topic. And one of the things that I always say this guy's name wrong. The guy that's on the Flagrant show with Schultz. Forgive me. I don't even want to look it up. I want to keep wasting time. But at the end of the day, in that clip, and you know what, guys? When I'm done with this live, I'll put the clips in the description below. And he says, you know what? And what's funny is because I've been saying it for years. I know. I'm getting ahead of myself. So he's like, you know what we need to do? We need to not vote at all. Forget about this. Oh, this person or this side's trying to make them not vote and blah, 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 right? You guys heard it. And he's like, no. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I have been saying this for years, to the point that I had a friend a couple years ago, not just a couple years ago, literally 2016 with the whole Trump Hillary thing. And I'm like, listen, I'm not going to vote. And I'm telling you, if we all not voted, he goes, are you an idiot? And he's like, are you retarded? This guy went off on me, okay, to say the least. He's like, oh my God, you're such an idiot. What are you talking about? Don't you know that one vote counts? That's it. That's all it takes, one vote. And I'm like, and he was voting for Hillary. I didn't care. I loved him nonetheless. Loved him as a friend, enjoyed his company. And then he's screaming at me, insulting me, going off. And I'm like, yo, you need to calm down there for a second. We're chilling. We're having a glass of wine. We're having a chill time. No. You know what? I can't be around idiots like you. I can't believe you of all people, Olga. Oh my God, the world is going to end. We're all going to. And I'm like, whoa, like the level of emo was out of control. And I'm like, do you see me yelling at you? Do you see me getting irate? Insulting at all? You're just stupid. You're just stupid. You should leave. You got to leave right now. And I'm like, thank God my other girlfriend was there. Mind you, she's BFF with this guy. That's how I met him first, but then I met her through him. Long story short, her and I become close, but she's not taking sides. She's like, yo. And she tells the guy, she's like, you need to calm down. Like, politics should not get anybody, in that twisted state. And the way you're talking, insulting, it's like, everyone has the right to do what they want to do or not do. And he was just like, I'm like, look, you can't think as far as I'm saying. My thing was that was a dramatic day of I remembering saying that specific. What if we didn't vote at all? That would send a message. And the system would collapse and we can rebuild it. Not to build back better or make America great. Please. And it's always looking in the out. This other person's going to change our life and make our life. And I get it because we're already hardwired that way, right? Tribal, taking sides. I keep saying this, although I want you to keep watching me on YouTube because I want us to keep the discussion. Well, I don't just want us to do it. I love you. I'm here for a reason. I'm not here just to wake up and brush my teeth and just be a zombie. I'm here to connect, to make love in any way possible. You know what I'm saying? You know what? Like I said, I had all the clips ready on Spotify, a clip from the Joe Rogan with Aaron Rodgers and the whole V thing and how he reacted. And now that I realize that I can't share it, can't explain why, because you could see the Spotify, right? But you couldn't see the video. Got to look that up. So I guess, and I was going to do a video reaction today, and I even posted in the description. I don't know. Should I do it today? Because I'll be back tomorrow. I didn't post it yet, but I'm coming back live tomorrow, 1 o'clock, with a special guest. And I was thinking, I'm like, do they want me to do the reaction by myself? Or if I had a guest, would they still want a reaction video? Let me know in the comments. I'm looking in the live chat. You know what? I'm going to do it. Since the whole thing didn't work for my other 2 clips, to be continued, by the way, between Zach and Aaron. Zuckerberg, Rogers. All right, well, at the very least, thank you for being here. And I am. So I've had many requests, and like I said, I'm like, which one do I do today, right? So I decided on this one from Tom MacDonald. Drum roll. You see that? All right. Let's see what this is going to do. What am I going to find out? What am I going to see? I have not seen this video. And you're watching this with me live. And the song or the video that I chose today from one of the requests that I was given is Dear Rappers.
Man, it's easy for these rappers who have it all. Talk about the days when they used to be sad. I guess I can't relate to being famous and wealthy. I'm 28 and still praying for the day I have a chance. Maybe y'all can help me out though. I'm just trying to take care of my household. I don't even want to make my mouth go. I just want to win before the system that I'm in gets a hold of me again and starts to squeeze under my chin until I'm out cold. Dear rappers, can you help me? I'll even take a selfie with your album that I bought. I got every single CD that you ever fucking dropped. I spent everything I had and I never had a lot. Oh my god, what a mess. Your words help me deal with the stress. Used to contemplate my suicide the nights I was depressed. Used to pop you in a boombox and sit up on my desk, listen to your music till I felt it in my chest. But these days it's like you don't have nothing left. Your music feels kind of like you're trying to write a check. Everything is digital. I mean no disrespect, but I'm
Totally agree. I don't just agree. It's a fact. I saw TED Talks of this guy who used to be a producer. I still think he is. So sorry, guys. But for ABBA, not just producer, I'm sorry. I believe he was on the, he was part of the band, the group, ABBA. And guys, you got to go watch that. I'll look it up. Also put the link in the description. And he was talking about how everything's so digital. It's like, oh, if it doesn't, fit the rhythm, the algorithm. The whole part of being creative is the opposite of AI. He's right. He's totally right. I mean, these are facts. Because the reason why I even love Tom MacDonald is because he makes me feel things. And I've said it in other videos, and I'll say it again. I'm not into rap. I was into rap in the 80s, like that certain style of rap. The new stuff? Oh my God, it's like I just want to die. I mean, it doesn't make me feel good. It doesn't even make me feel energized, empowered, excited, even to be goofy. Not even to like be goofy, like, okay, we're just gonna mess around. This one. Oof. Hashtag HOG.
paying even more and you give me even less. What the fuck? You taught me to think, you taught me to grow, you taught me the things to survive. You give me trying to write it, felt it in my chest, but these days it's like you don't box and sit up on my desk.
That he felt it in his chest. It used to feel that way. Exactly.
I spent everything I had and I never had a lot. Oh my God, what a mess. Your words helped me deal with the stress. Used to contemplate my suicide the nights I was depressed. Used to pop you in a boombox and sit up on my desk. Listen to your music till I felt it in my chest. But these days it's like you don't have nothing left. Your music feels kinda like you're trying to write a check. Everything is digital, I mean no disrespect, but I'm paying even more and you give me even less. What the fuck? You taught me to think, you taught me to...
And I'm paying... You give me less, I'm paying more. What the fuck? Oh my God. I would have thought this guy's from Philly. What the fuck? Yeah.
To grow, you taught me the things to survive on my own, but now you teach me to drink, you teach me to smoke, you teach me to think. Every woman's a hoe. I don't want your Xanax bars or your fancy foreign cars. Throw your money in my face and try to tell me that it's art. No, no, no. Yeah. Just a drug addict on TV. I can't hear another fucking song about abusing medication that I had to take just to stay alive. There's more important shit than what you wear and where you live and who you fucking, what you drink and what you spend and what you drive. Right?
There's more important things. It's not as simple as said, but well said, Tom. Well said. But it's upbringing. You can't blame everything on society. You can't blame everything on the government. Who's raising the offspring? Because even if you go through that stage in high school, which is normal, because you're finding out who are you, who you want to be. You're becoming, you're developing. And if you grab onto that, what I have, what I look like, it's because we just want to be accepted. Very superficial, empty acceptance, as we know.
Rappers full of bullshit, shit than what you wear and where you live and who you fucking, what you drink and what you spend and what you drive. Rappers full of bullshit.
It's funny he just said this, and it's funny how all the requests that I got, I chose to do this one today without, like I said, without watching it. And yet, hello, what did I say in the beginning of this live today with the AT guy? Again, I don't want to say his full name because I don't want this video getting taken down, especially because we're talking about the man, Tom MacDonald. But here we go. Here we go. That's what I had mentioned in the video about him. I'm like, this guy's full of shit. Talking about, I get these women, they do this, they do that. Oh, shut up, dude. And you think that's anything new? It's nothing new. That's the thing. This AT guy, initials, acts like, you want to be a man? You want to stop being an incel? It's like, he's talking the same shit I heard in the early 2000s, in the 90s, in the 80s. I mean, it's been forever. The more a guy talks, hate to say this because I love men. I mean, I love men. But the more you're talking like that, what's your problem? I can tell you. But that's for another video. Sorry. Let's go back.
Rapper's just a marketing vehicle for the product that the man wants you to buy. Rap about a full clip. Rappers just promoting different liquors and varieties of ways that you could die. Yeah. Dear.
Jesus Christ, this guy, he gets me every time. Oh, and all the ways that you can die. And all the ways that you can die. Yeah. Your idol, the guys the girls, whatever, the groups, the singers that you're, that's what they're doing. Yeah. Wow. Such great humans. Yeah.
Full clip. Rappers just a marketing vehicle for the product that the man wants you to buy. Rap about a full clip. Rappers just promoting different liquors and varieties of ways that you could die. Yeah. Dear rappers, can you help me? Are you almost out of...
That was almost like a mic drop right there.
Alcohol to sell me, tell me, cause drinking every night can be the way to getting wealthy. If I'm really being honest, all the shit is overwhelming. I need someone to look up to. You're living in a country that elected Donald Trump. You're living in a country where police are killing people every day, and all you want to talk about is doing drugs. You've been blinded by the money, you've been blinded by the cars, you've been blinded by the women. Don't know who the fuck you are. Thought I knew you when I spent $100 on a ticket to your show, and now I feel like you stole my fucking money and I'm broke. Man, you taught us how to rap, and you taught us how to dress, and you taught us how to act if we wanted to impress. Now you're teaching me to live like I know you never would. What you're preaching to these kids is keeping them inside the hood. Your Xanax bars or your fancy
Guys, I just got chills on both right up both my legs and in my arms. Whoa! You know, I get a little emotional here. Do you realize how powerful that was? Do you realize how deep that shit is, how real?
To these kids is keeping them inside the hood. You're teaching me, you taught us how to rap, and you taught us how to dress, and you taught us how to act if we wanted to impress. Now you're teaching me to live like I know you never would. What you're preaching to these kids is keeping them inside the hood.
What you're preaching to these kids is keeping them inside the hood. So true. And I know this for a fact because I've worked in these neighborhoods. And I've helped them in any way that I could. I still do. And you got to sleep in these places. You got to live there to really, I think, from what he's saying. From little that I do remember on his stay in L.A., right? Right? With the roaches and whatnot. Like, he's speaking truth, man. He's not just pumping out lyrics.
Your Xanax bars or your fancy foreign cars. Throw your money in my face and try to tell me that it's art. No, no. Just a drug addict on TV. I don't want your Xanax bars or your fancy foreign cars. Throw your money in my face and try to tell me that it's art. No. Just a drug addict on TV.
Ooh. Guys, I didn't know this song was going to be that deep. I mean, they're always deep, right? So there you got it. That was my live reaction to Tom MacDonald. Dear rappers. I wish I could have wrote it myself. I mean, not rapped it. Because that's exactly. I'm not a prude. I'm quite. I've always been unconventional, as they say, but truthful. And the truth always resonates with people, even if they don't agree with you, even if they don't believe in what you're saying. The truth always resonates. And yeah, again, I've said this before in other videos. I'm gonna say it again. This guy should be like Michael Jackson of our time as far as this rap and the lyrics that he's pumping out. But they don't want him out there because he's not selling his soul. Whether you believe in a soul or not, energetically, your character precedes you. So I don't care what side of the fence you think you're on. The truth, the honesty, nobility, magnanimous, living with purpose, getting it out, living unapologetic. Jesus, I love this. I'm not sure I'm going to play that song and hear it over and over again. But you got me. One more time, Tom. I love you. And thank you. Thank you guys for being here with me, for listening, for liking, for sharing, for commenting, and all the above. I wish you a magnificent day and an even better tomorrow. Until next time, I'll talk to you soon.